Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Now, my friend and I are going to present you our research paper, and the topic is artificial intelligence applied in the education. So, what is AI and how it can be used in education system? AI is truly a revolutionary field of computer science set to become a core component of all modern software over the coming years and decades. In general terms, AI refers to computational tools that are able to substitute for human intelligence in the performance of certain tasks. It's another emerging technology in the form of artificial intelligence and machine learning that is beginning to alter education tools and institutions and changing what the future might look like in the education. Even though most experts believe the critical presence of teachers is irreplaceable, there will be many changes to a teacher's job and to educational best practices. Artificial intelligence in education has had a significant impact, including increased efficiency, global learning, customized learning, better content, and increased effectiveness in education administration.
So we have three statements of problems we state in our research. The first is other fields have been developed due to technology, AI technology, compared to the field of education. And the second is society's adaptation to AI in education. And the last is education needs to be developed along with the rapid development of technology.
And there are two research objectives of our paper. The first one is comparing the advantages and disadvantages of artificial intelligence in education level. Second one is to observe the effects of artificial intelligence on the level of the learning system. And for our discussion of research question, the first one, what are the advantages and disadvantages of AI in education level? The first one, for the advantages, organize information. These intelligence technologies have been employed by teachers and educators all over the world to increase students' performance due to their extraordinary characteristics, such as the ability to offer information continuously from a number of sources. The growth in the use of AI systems in schools throughout the world since it helps students become more efficient learners owing to its comprehensive abilities. Second one, personalized learning. Personalized learning, which has used information from students' data to generate personalized courses and activities for students based on their needs and interests. AI advancements have enabled technology firms such as Google to collect vast amounts of data about its users' interests in order to produce personalized content that keeps users engaged with an app or website for longer periods of time. For the third one, Intelligence Tutoring System, or ITS. ITS provides students with feedback on their work and direct them to the correct solution. The most prominent advantage is its capacity to offer useful information about a student's academic performance through examinations and assessment tasks. Most of the things that have good sides may have their own drawbacks, same as the AI applied in education. The first one, reduce human interaction. The drawback of AI is that because they don't interact with actual humans during classes, so students are unable to practice and gain interpersonal skills. Second one, artificial intelligence data problems. Data collecting is complex for AI and it will have to deal with several major problems in the future. Also, AI requires a lot of information to be collected for the software program to learn effectively, but this process is fraught with difficulties. The third drawback is unemployment of the teachers. There is no longer a need for human teachers to lead children to session or even grade homework because the system enables students to learn by themselves. From the standpoint of the school administration as well, which might result in cutbacks if the workforce gets too much smaller as a result of this shift over time, resulting in decreased compensation increment by future administration.
Now, I will which is does artificial intelligence have a significant effect on the level of the learning system? Before I go into the effect that you can see on the slide, I like to read a fact that has been mentioned by a researcher, which is the amount of data produced today by both humans and machines considerably exceeds the capacity of humans to comprehend, understand, and make complex decisions on that data. Instead of trying to construct algorithms to solve problems, AI researchers have concentrated on the most successful method used by humans. Here, we can see how AI has a huge impact in today's world. So, the first is an accomplishment in a short period of time. Here, we can know that many and complicated tasks can be solved easily with the help of AI. I'm sure the question will arise, if complicated things are solved by AI, human can't learn difficult things. Okay, the situation is this: if a person wants to solve something using AI, he needs to be proficient in that field, because AI does not always produce appropriate and accurate decisions. In the end, consideration will be made by the researcher in addition to having skills in using AI. The second is learning regardless of time and place. Okay, if we look at the present time, distance learning has become a norm. Yes, many question the success of distance learning. However, we need to look at some other factors such as health and distance. If AI can be developed and prevent this problem of successful in distance learning, we will see a future where knowledge can develop regardless of where we are and how we are. And the last is new invention. Okay, for the new invention, as we have previously noted, artificial intelligence provides us a ton of time to conduct extensive study. As a result, further discoveries may be made, which could result in the development of new machines, new formula, or we can see new tools.
How is artificial intelligence used in education? I help companies use AI in practice. I help them rethink their business model and their strategy. And education is one of the areas where AI will make a massive impact. What is really important to understand is that AI is not a threat to teachers. It's not there to replace teachers, but it's there to deliver a better education to our children, to make this whole experience better for kids and for teachers. To some extent, AI helps us to rethink our whole education system and how it is delivered. I believe that we need a much more hybrid model where we basically get the best out of our artificially intelligent enabled systems and our teachers. For me, when the kids spend time in school with the teacher, they should be focusing on their creativity. They should be exploring things. They should discuss things and build their communication skills. They need to problem solve. So all of these things, I think, are vitally important. At the same time, we can bring in artificial intelligence to give us sometimes a more differentiated and more individualized learning experience. Because if you think about this, there are companies like Content Technologies and Carnegie Learning that are developing these platforms, these learning platforms that enable AI-driven learning, testing, and feedback that students will get. Think about an app, for example, that enables you to learn math. So there's Thinker Math, for example, an app that allows that will track student progress. They will really identify areas that you're not particularly good at, and they will then emphasize, they will provide more learning on them. So the speed of every individual student can be customized. And this is something that a teacher simply can't do with a classroom of 20 or 30 children. We are already used to using these kind of approaches in language learning, where we have tools like Duolingo and Bubble that basically allow hundreds of thousands of people to learn languages at their own pace. It will accelerate learning speeds or decelerate them and focus on certain areas that the AI will observe where they need more support. And if you then combine some of this learning, where some of the very basic knowledge transfer that teachers have to do, you can outsource some of this to AI and then actually make the role of the teacher much more exciting, where they can spend time with students to do the really human, the interactive, the creative part of the learning bit. So using artificial intelligence in education also enables us to potentially give universal access to learning. In the same way that we can use these apps in our schools, you can make them available worldwide in any language, and any student anywhere in the world can have access to the best language learning, the best math tutoring, and so on. And artificial intelligence allows us to outsource some of the administrative tasks. We've seen this for a while, that we've had the ability of machines to grade our multiple choice exams, for example. AI has come such a long way. Nowadays we have AIs that can write entire books autonomously, that can summarize entire libraries of books for us. So it is not a big reach for them to also grade written essays for people. So again, what we're trying to do is we're trying to enable teachers to spend more time on the things that they love and outsource some of the more mundane administrative tasks to the artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is hugely relevant to schools, to universities, to any education organizations. And especially as education is now changing to a much more lifelong learning process, it will help us to engage students across their entire life, and we already see this in applications like Coursera and Udemy that offer these MOOCs, these massive online courses, and they are starting to use AI and leverage AI in everything they do. So for me, AI has a real potential to transform teaching and make it better for both students and teachers.
From the conclusion for our research, there are 5 things that I want to state. The first is there are several advantages and disadvantages in the application of AI in the learning system. The second is there are some significant effects if AI is put into practice. And the third is the development of technology in the future will be faster. And the fourth is AI is already in the field of learning. And the last is we need to take advantage of the benefits provided by AI.